in the 6th year of our marriage. My usually aloof husband suddenly slapped me. The reason? His mistress and illegitimate son had been in a car accident, and he was convinced I had hired someone to do it. Suddenly, I no longer wanted to endure it. I just wanted to let everything fall apart and make everyone miserable. Later, he tried desperately to make amends, but there was no going back. Smack. I was trying to soothe my frayed nerves by playing the violin when Daniel stormed in, grabbed me by the shoulder from behind, and spun me around. Then, he slapped me hard across the face. My left ear rang, and my cheek burned. The rage I had suppressed for over 20 years erupted. As soon as I steadied myself, I glared at him with murder in my eyes. The car accident this morning. With Seraphina and James, did you arrange it? Didn't I warn you not to touch them? Seraphina, his precious mistress. James, his illegitimate son. Any little thing that happened to them, a scrape or a bruise, was always my fault. He would blame me without a second thought, convinced I was behind it. Faced with his furious, accusatory expression, I gritted my teeth. I swung the violin in my hand straight at his head, holding nothing back, aiming to crack his skull. Thud. Unfortunately, I was holding the violin in my left hand. The force wasn't enough to actually kill him. Evelyn, are you insane? Caught off guard, Daniel staggered back. He clutched his dizzy head, his face a mixture of shock and fury. In my entire life, no one has ever slapped me. I shot back, my voice laced with venom. Touch me again, and I swear I will kill you, you scumbag. He stared at me, utterly bewildered. The meek, patient woman who had always swallowed her grievances and yielded, was this really me, baring my fangs? Didn't I tell you that Seraphina would never threaten your position as Mrs. Gu? Why did you still go after them? Huh. I snorted, a bitter laugh escaping me. Daniel, do you think you're the only man in the world? Are you some kind of rare treasure? Is this title of Mrs. Gu so precious? Do you really think I care? He was speechless, unable to find a single word in his defense. Seraphina might treasure a piece of trash like you, but I don't. She and her son are nothing but ants to me. I wouldn't deign to deal with them. If I wanted them dead, it would be a single, fatal blow. I wouldn't allow them to repeatedly flaunt themselves in front of me. Do you understand? If you do, then get out. This is my house. You are not welcome here. He stared at me, his teeth clenched. Stop pretending. I know you better than anyone. For the sake of profit, you can endure anything, and you're capable of anything. I told you. Seraphina and James are my bottom line. Don't push your luck. Pretending. Can I pretend better than you? Chanting sutras all day, pretending to be a devoted man. But you're just a scumbag to the core. Your father shared his wives and mistresses, and now you want to do the same. You think you're so great. Even a garbage bag isn't as full of crap as you are. I knew exactly where to hit him where it hurt. He turned red with shame and anger, rendered speechless. He still had some sense of decency, it seemed. I'm unscrupulous for profit. What about you? For profit, you let the woman you love be your mistress, engaging in all sorts of sordid affairs. Are you really any better than me? Pretending to be a devout Buddhist all day, even the Buddha would be disgusted by your hypocrisy. You scumbag. You want a divorce? He blurted out, thinking it would threaten me. Yes, I said dismissively. The sooner, the better. Before your little mistress gets impatient and starts framing me for things again. It's exhausting just watching her. I will investigate this matter. If it was you, I won't let you go, he warned, then stormed out. The maid, who had been standing by with tea, silently left the room. I looked down at the broken violin in my hands. It was like my life shattered and in desperate need of repair. Before our arranged marriage, I knew Daniel had a white moonlight in a coma. After her accident, he had become a vegetarian, constantly praying for her recovery, even remaining celibate. But as the heir to his family, he couldn't wait for a ghost forever. His family, especially his mother, Victoria, would never allow him to renounce his inheritance. So, he agreed to marry me. The reason, laughably, was that my eyes resembled his beloved Seraphina's. And I had my own reasons for agreeing. I was a mere pawn in my family, a tool for marriage alliances. My mother had been in a coma for 5 years after a car accident. And within 6 months, my father's mistress, Lillian, had moved in and become the lady of the house. If I refused the marriage, my younger siblings would suffer, and my mother's medical bills would go unpaid. Daniel, despite his baggage, was a good match in every other way. I never expected that in the 3rd year of our marriage, Seraphina would wake up. Her return shattered the peaceful facade of our marriage, turning it into a 3-person entanglement. Especially after she became pregnant with James. She began to frequent the Gu family gatherings, brazenly flaunting her position as the little Mrs. Gu, turning me into a laughingstock. I had thought about divorce, but the time wasn't right. I wouldn't let the people who had humiliated me off so easily. Ring, ring, ring. The phone broke my reverie. It was the caregiver from the hospital. Hello, Ms. Lee. Evelyn, your mother, she's in trouble. You need to come to the hospital right away. The world went silent. I hung up, grabbed my things, and rushed to the hospital. The doctors were still in the operating room when I arrived. Ms. Lee told me my mother had simply stopped breathing, and Lillian had been there, spewing hateful words. It had to be her. The light above the operating room went out. The doctor emerged, taking off his mask. We did everything we could. I'm so sorry. Please prepare for the funeral. My mind went blank. I stumbled, nearly collapsing. I had no mother anymore. Ms. Lee helped me to a chair. Should we notify the others? Your brother and sister will want to say their last goodbyes. I took a deep breath, trying to calm myself. I decided to call the police and request an autopsy. I would not let any of them get away with this. 2 days later, the autopsy was complete. At the funeral, my family, including the triumphant Lillian, showed up. The sight of her smug face made my blood boil. In front of everyone, I kicked her, sending her flying. Evelyn, are you crazy? My father, Marcus, roared. The car accident 5 years ago was her doing, and you were involved. I said coldly, and my mother's death now was also her doing. She had her injected with something. Don't think I don't know. What nonsense are you spouting? He yelled. But the guests were already whispering. My mother was the only thing holding me back. Now that she was gone, I had nothing to fear. Nonsense. Then what about him? I pointed to their illegitimate son. Jasper, why is your family of 4 here today? To gloat. Have you made enough of a scene? Do you have any decency? Marcus demanded. I know exactly what this is. It's my mother's funeral. If I don't get justice for her, I don't deserve to be her daughter. I scanned the crowd and saw Daniel, looking shocked. I ignored him. And let me tell you another secret, I said, pointing to Jasper. He had a heart transplant, and that heart was harvested from a living person. The crowd gasped. Before I could finish, Marcus lunged at me, but my brother, Ethan, intercepted him, slapping him back. You touch my sister, and I'll kill you. You ungrateful children. Are you rebelling? Marcus sputtered, his face red. Take this whore and her bastard son and get out. Ethan snarled. Don't defile my mother's funeral, or I'll make sure you leave in a coffin. Lillian, seeing the situation turning against them, feigned injury. Marcus, wanting to escape the scrutiny, carried her out. Jasper and his sister, Isabel, glared at us before following. Why didn't you call me? Daniel asked, appearing at my side. You're just a husband in name only, and soon not even that. There was no need. I stared at my mother's portrait, my voice flat. Daniel was speechless with anger, but said nothing. After the funeral, as we waited for the ashes, a video of the confrontation went viral. I had arranged it. I wanted to ruin my family's reputation. I also released my mother's autopsy report, the evidence of Lillian's involvement in the car accident, and the dark truth behind Jasper's heart transplant. The public outcry was immediate and fierce. My family's company stock plummeted. By the time they tried to do damage control, it was too late. Sister, does this mean we don't have a home anymore? My sister, Chloe, asked, her voice full of sorrow. No, I said firmly. As long as I'm here, you will always have a home. Now that mom is gone, are you going to get a divorce? Yes. Are you going to let Seraphina get away with how she's treated you? No. No one is getting away with anything. After bringing my mother's ashes home, Daniel and his mother, Victoria, were waiting for us. How can you bring that into the house? It's so unlucky, Victoria complained, seeing the urn. This is my house, I said, my voice devoid of emotion. I could turn it into a mausoleum if I wanted to. And it would still be none of your business. She was furious. How dare you speak to me like that? I was just trying to give you some advice. Daniel sat on the sofa, silently twirling his prayer beads, his expression as detached as ever. If you have something to say, say it. If not, please leave, I said, dismissing them. Why didn't you inform our family about your mother's funeral? Were you trying to embarrass us? She demanded. Your family has plenty of embarrassing secrets. This is just one more. Besides, your son and I are getting a divorce soon. There's no need for us to be involved anymore. I placed the urn on the TV stand. What? A divorce? Victoria was shocked. I turned to Daniel. Let's get the papers drawn up and finalize this. Your mother just passed away. You're not in your right mind. Don't use divorce as an outlet. There's no going back, he said, a warning in his voice. My mind is made up, I stated, my voice firm. This is a notification, not a game. If you don't agree, I'll sue for divorce. Don't say I didn't warn you. Is this because of Seraphina and James? He asked, his voice still calm. I told you. They won't affect your position. Huh. I scoffed. I seem to recall you storming in here a few days ago and slapping me across the face. What? You bastard. You hit my sister. My brother, Ethan, jumped up, ready to fight. But Chloe held him back. You call yourself a Buddhist. What kind of man hits his own wife? How dare you speak like that? Victoria scolded. I'm speaking nicely. You should teach your son some manners. He parades his mistress and illegitimate child around. And you expect my sister to just put up with it? This hypocritical, selfish scumbag. With his prayer beads, it's disgusting. Ethan raged. Daniel, finally losing his composure, yelled at me. I never hid Seraphina's existence from you. What are you making a scene about now? You didn't hide her. But I never expected you to become just like your father. I hate mistresses and illegitimate children, especially those who flaunt themselves in front of the wife. This isn't a scene. My mother is gone, and I don't have to put up with it anymore. Is that clear? My words hit their mark. He stood up, his voice shaking with rage. You want a divorce? Forget it. The only way you're leaving me is as a widow. He stormed out, unable to argue, unwilling to change. He wanted it all. The respectable, well-bred wife and the soft, pliant mistress. Victoria, her face pale, asked, so, you were behind the videos online. You're going to destroy the Mo family. That's none of your concern. You should worry about yourself, I said coldly. She seemed to understand and left without another word. That evening, my family's company, Zenith Group, saw its stock hit rock bottom. Lillian and Marcus were arrested. The scandal, including Jasper's heart transplant, was all over the news, sparking public outrage. That night, my family summoned me. My grandfather, grandmother, aunts, and uncles were all there, ready to interrogate me. You worthless girl. What do you think you're doing? My grandfather roared, throwing a teacup at me. What good does it do you to ruin the family's name? I dodged it. No good. But I will avenge my mother. A few of her enemies accompanying her to the grave isn't too much to ask, is it? They were stunned. My uncle, Victor, said, even if you want revenge, you don't have to make it so public. If the family falls, your life with the Gus won't be easy either. You should take down the videos. If it were your mother who was murdered, would you just let it go? I retorted. They fell silent. As long as this family stands, I can't get my revenge. You will always protect Marcus and Lillian. Your wealth and power are the weapons you use against the weak. Like the girl whose heart is now inside Jasper, a young woman in her 20s, hit by a car on her way home from work. Her heart harvested from her living body. Who will speak for her and her family? Is that fair? My grandfather clutched his chest, looking ill. You two old fools failed to raise your children properly, and you are indirectly responsible for my mother's death. You must pay. All I did was expose the truth. What's wrong with that? The family rises and falls together. What have we done wrong? My aunt, Sylvia, demanded. Nothing. You and your mother made my mother's life a living hell. We were rarely allowed to eat at the same table. Oh, and by the way, I have some dirt on you too. Don't push me, or it'll ruin your reputation as well. You're insane, she stammered. My grandmother, who had been staring at me with cold fury, finally spoke. I never thought you'd be such an ungrateful wolf. with no sense of family loyalty. What's the point of loyalty to a rotten family like this? I shot back. My grandfather fainted, and the room descended into chaos. They rushed him to the hospital. I knew they could destroy me if they wanted to, but I was prepared. I never expected to get out of this unscathed. A few days later, Jasper was killed by the father of the heart donor. The father, who had been in a daze since his daughter's death, finally found justice. The hospital and doctors involved were also investigated. To retaliate, Isabel started spreading rumors online, claiming my mother had been the one to break up her parents' true love. She even accused me of being a homewrecker, claiming I had staged a car accident 7 years ago to put Daniel's girlfriend in a coma so I could marry him. Seraphina, using a friend's account, confirmed the story, even posting photos from the accident. The online mob turned on me. I reported them to the police and exposed all of Isabel's own scandals, including the time she drugged a young master to get into his bed. As for Seraphina, I released the traffic camera footage from her accident. It clearly showed her and Daniel arguing, fighting over the steering wheel. He had been trying to break up with her. I also released evidence of her cheating on him with multiple men. With my mother gone, I no longer cared about my marriage or my reputation. Unfortunately, Daniel, to protect his family's image, had the negative posts about her removed. That night, I saw him at a private club with his friend, Nathan. I overheard their conversation. If you love Seraphina so much, why don't you just divorce your wife and marry her? Nathan asked. She's not suitable to be a wife, Daniel replied, his voice detached. She can't handle my family. She can't give me a peaceful home. So that was his plan. How shameless. I don't think Evelyn will put up with this forever. Aren't you afraid she'll turn on you one day? A little bit of drama is fine, as long as she knows her place. She'll come back. When she wants a child, I'll give her one. I'm curious. Where does she get all this inside information? Is she a private investigator? I don't know. And I don't care. I just know she has a digital tech company. She probably had this information prepared for a long time. I had no interest in hearing more. As I turned to leave, I ran into an acquaintance, Damien. Mr. G. Long time no see. Why don't we have a drink? He invited. We went to another room, and I told him my plan to take over Zenith Group. My grandfather, aunt, and uncle might not be willing to sell their shares. He pointed out, I have leverage on my aunt and uncle. I'll provide it to you. They'll sell. As for my grandfather, he's old. He'll weigh his options. All right, Damien said, then asked abruptly, when are you getting a divorce? You're not going to just endure it, are you? I want to. But Daniel refuses. It's a matter of face for his family. Do you need my help? He asked seriously. You said he'd rather be a widower than a divorce. So why not make him a widower? He said it so casually. It was chilling. I was feeling overwhelmed and ended up drinking too much, pouring out all my sorrows to him. He listened patiently and then sent me home. Unfortunately, someone took a video of him helping me into the car. A misleadingly intimate shot that was posted online with the headline, Zenith Group heiress marriage on the rocks. Suspected of cheating with mystery man. The video went viral. The next morning, I woke up to a flood of missed calls and messages from Daniel and his family. I ignored them and took the divorce papers to him. When I arrived, Seraphina and her son were there. The boy, James, saw me and cried out, "The bad woman is here," then ran to his mother. "Is this child really yours?" I sneered at Daniel. He seems to have no brain. I know you don't like James, but you don't have to be so cruel. He's just a child, Seraphina said, her voice dripping with fake innocence. He's a child, but you're not. A child's behavior reflects his parents' upbringing. I'm not here to listen to your drivel. Can you shut up? I said, handing the papers to Daniel. Are you rushing to get a divorce because of Damien? He demanded. What does that have to do with you? I will never divorce you. They say a husband and wife are one, but some people don't deserve a partner. It's meaningless to be tied to a disloyal wife with a marriage certificate. How do you know it's meaningless? He shot back. I glanced at Seraphina. Then let's all abandon loyalty and have an open marriage. I'll go out and have a child with another man. Would you be okay with that? Besides divorce, what do you want? He asked, furious. Since we can't agree, I'll see you in court, I said, and went upstairs to pack the rest of my things. Daniel, why won't you divorce her? Are you in love with her? Seraphina's voice followed me. You said you only loved me. You're the one who made me suffer, who turned me into a vegetable. Don't you owe it to me and our son to give him a proper home? If you don't divorce her and marry me, I'll take our son and die. Daniel was silent. I was packing when he appeared in the doorway. Let's talk. He finally explained. I owe Seraphina. The accident was my fault. I have to make it up to her. That includes giving her a child. I can send them away, so you never have to see them again. As long as you don't divorce me, I'll agree to any condition. So this was his new tactic. Did he really think I was a doormat who would endure anything for profit? You are a truly terrible person, I said, disgusted. You string along your lover. You abandon your child. How can you have the audacity to ask me to stay with you? To have it all. He was speechless with shame. Before this, all your favor was for Seraphina. You defended her unconditionally. Even when she slandered me online, I was the one who was wronged. And now you have the nerve to ask me to forgive and forget. Do you really think I'm a saint? I'll change. I'll make it up to you. What do you want? Company stock. How much? He pleaded, as if he didn't understand a word I was saying. Get out. I threw a handbag at him. A week later, Damien acquired the majority of shares in Zenith Group. I went to see my father in detention and had him sign over his shares. You hate me that much? He asked. Shouldn't I? I retorted. He finally apologized. A month later, I sued for divorce. The court granted it immediately. After that, Damien moved in next door and started shamelessly trying to win me over. A month after that, Lillian was sentenced to death for her crimes. My father was sentenced to 20 years. And Isabel, after getting out of detention, got into another fight and was sent back to prison for 3 years. With all the family matters settled, we finally buried my mother. A year later, Damien and I were married. A year after that, our beautiful daughter, Aria, was born. We ran into Daniel and Seraphina at the aquarium. He looked tired, a shadow of his former self. Seraphina looked at me with resentment. Daniel, it turned out, had never married her. After our divorce, he had lost his inheritance and had spent a year in a monastery before starting his own company. You have a daughter. She's very beautiful, he said, his eyes on Aria. She's ugly. His son, James, cried out. Damien, holding our daughter, shot back. Watch your mouth, kid, or it'll rot. Sorry. He's spoiled, Daniel said apologetically. As the twig is bent, so grows the tree, Damien said dismissively, and pulled me away. Let's go. Bad luck. He was fiercely protective of our daughter and had a petty streak when it came to Daniel. But he was also attentive and loving, and our life together was easy and comfortable. I had no regrets. Damien's perspective. The first time I felt my heart skip a beat was at Daniel's wedding, when I saw the bride. Her name was Evelyn. She was like a rose, beautiful but restrained, her quiet strength making my heart ache. I wanted to steal her away. I knew he didn't deserve her, and he proved me right. I had to restrain myself from making her a widow. When her mother died and she decided to leave him, I helped her, secretly, to bring down her family and win her divorce. It took me 6 months to win her trust, another 6 to win her hand. I know she's smart. She let me win her over. She gave me a daughter, a sense of legacy. Waking up next to her every day fills me with a joy I never knew. Daniel's perspective. Habit is a terrible thing. My ex-wife, Evelyn. Our 3 years of peaceful coexistence were the most comfortable of my life. She was gentle, understanding, and accommodating. I thought she had no temper, that she would always be there for me, even with my mistress and illegitimate child. But I was wrong. Her mother was her tether. Once that was gone, there was no holding her back. Seraphina was my first love. A tumultuous, on-again, off-again affair. I felt I owed her. I never thought my life would be ruined by it. They say a man who wrongs his wife loses all his fortune. When I heard Evelyn had remarried, my life felt meaningless. Seeing her daughter, her radiant smile, I remembered her words. You are a truly terrible person. Yes, I am. I have become the very man I despised. I wronged my wife, my son, my mother. I don't deserve to be a man.